Hi everyone, this is Sarah from SRS Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make this Loomigurumi Kawaii Teabag. He goes perfectly with the teapot and the teacup I made earlier. This project has less bands than some of my other ones. In total it takes 163 bands. 81 bands for the bottom color of the teabag, 55 for the top part, 3 bands for your string color, 22 for your tag color, plus you'll need bands for the mouth, and then I'm using 1 gray band right here as to look like the staple. You will need a hook, stuffing, scissors, and safety eyes. I am using 6mm safety eyes that I got off of Amazon. You can also use black bands, and I'll show you how when we get to that part. So let's get started. You don't need a stitch marker for this because we're not going in a round. We're going to be doing rows. So we're going to start out by chaining 9. So you're going to take a band, you're going to put it on your hook and wrap it around just like a cap band. And then we're going to pull through 8 more bands. So here's our first one. Pull through and put it back on your hook. 1, 2, 3, oops, that one didn't go through all the way, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now we have a total of 9 bands. Now when we're doing this style of crochet where we're going back and forth in rows, each of our stitches is going to take 2 bands. So now we're going to work on our first row. We're going to do 8 stitches across. You're going to hold the band that's on your hook, and you're going to take your hook and you're going to put it in the first stitch from the hook, and you should be going through the middle there. So there's 2 bands on the top, 2 bands on the bottom, you'll see. We're going to take 1 band and we're going to pull it through just those first 2 bands that we put on that our hook was through. And we're going to put it back on our hook. So now we have 4 bands. And we'll take the second band, because I said every stitch is 2 bands, and we're going to pull it through everything that's on our hook. And that's our first stitch. And we're going to keep going. So we're going to put our hook in the next stitch that's available. We're going to pull 1 band through that stitch, back on the hook. Now we have 4 bands, pulling 1 band through the rest of it. And there's our second stitch. We're just going to repeat that. 1 band through to give us 4 bands. It's actually 2 bands. And then 1 through everything. Keep going all the way down to the end. Pulling 1 through, back on the hook, 1 through everything. To the next one. Pulling 1 band through, and then 1 through everything. We're almost to the end. And then that cap band is our last stitch. Pulling 1 band through, and then 1 through everything. You want to count to make sure that you have your stitches correct. 1 is on your hook, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we're going to chain 1 to the end of this, and we're going to take our hook out and put it in going the opposite way, because now we're going to go back this way. So we're going to put our hook in the first stitch, which is here. We're going to pull 1 band through, and then 1 through everything. And we're going to continue across for a total of 8 stitches. Now in this one I made before, basically what I did was I made a rectangle, and we're going to fold it in half and sew it. So you're going to continue doing these 8 stitches back and forth, and you need to make 7 more rows. So this is row number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So go ahead and make the 7 rows, and I'll meet you back. Okay, welcome back. You should have completed those 7 more rows, and this is what we're ending up with. And this is the last stitch on the last row. I did not add the chaining stitch to the end there. So now what we're going to do to make our tea bag is we are going to fold it in half, and we are going to sew down the side. So I'm going to take my hook, and this part is, you know, a little bit flexible. It doesn't have to be exact. If you don't have it lined up perfectly, it'll be all right. We're going to take our hook and we're going to put it through the first stitch on the other side. I'm going to take one band and I'm going to pull it through all 4 of those and put it back on my hook. Just like that. Now I'm going to move down the row, and instead of going in the next, I'm going to skip one and I'm going to pick up the 2 bands on either side. So now I've got 6 bands on there. I'm going to pull it all through a stitch. And I'm going to skip the next 2 and I'm going to go to the next ones. That'll just give us the extra. It might get a bit tight if you use, if you go every single one. I'm going to pull a band through, and then I'm going to do just on the bottom here. I'm just going to grab 2 bands because it's already connected there. I'm going to pull 1 band through and do a slip knot. Just like that. So now this side is attached, and then we will take our hook. I'm just going to pull that tail inside. That's all I'm going to hide it, because we're going to sew it up. Just like that. Now, to make it easier on ourselves, before I sew up the other side, I'm going to do the face. So I'm just going to take my little safety eyes and decide where I want them and stick them through. You can pretty much put them anywhere. When you have a place you like them, you can just push your backs on. Make a little snapping sound, and that'll keep them in place. If you don't have safety eyes, and these were just a few dollars off Amazon, if you search 6mm safety eyes, they'll come right up. You can use bands, and for each eye you'll need 3 bands. Whatever color you want, you put them on your hook, 2 bands at a time, wrap them around one time, pinch them, wrap them around an additional time, and you take 1 band and you pull it all through. Move it to the center. So then you're just going to decide where you want your eye. Take your hook, pull it through, and grab that end band and then pull it on the other side. Pull this end through, and you don't want to pull it through the same spot. You want them to be separated, that way the band doesn't fall out. And then you can just make a slip knot, and that will give you the eye. Now I'm going to add my mouth, and to do that I'm just going to take a black band and give it a little clip. And I like this little mouth just with 1 band, so I'm just going to kind of stretch it out and stick the band through, trying to decide where I think it'll be the cutest. That's a bigger mouth than I want. Maybe we'll try to move it over a tiny bit. Okay, now that we have our mouth in the position that we want it, I'm going to go ahead and make a knot to keep the mouth from falling out. So I'm just going to grab the 2 cut ends, wrap them around my finger, and make a knot. I'm going to push it to the end as far as I can. That way I've got some wiggle room to play with my mouth. Now we need to stitch the rest of it closed. So we're going to fold it in half, aligning it up, and I'm going to go ahead and put my hook in, see where they line up. So here's the first 2, and then there's another set and another set and another set. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab 2 sets that line up like this right at the bottom. I'm going to take 1 band and I'm going to pull it through those bands. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab the next 2. So I've got the 2 bands from the sides and then the one that was already on my hook. I'm going to pull 1 band through everything and put it back on. And this is how we're stitching it up. I'm going to go ahead and grab some more. And like if you grab 3 instead of 2, it'll all be okay because it's all. And then I'm just going to make a slip knot in this one. And I'm going to pull it onto the inside so that you can't see that. All right. Now, the previous tea bag I made, he has a little stuffing inside. It's probably half a cotton ball's worth. I'm just going to add a little bit in because they're not exactly flat. Now we're going to sew our top closed with the color that we're using, the top of the tea bag, the paper part, and I'm going to use white. And we're going to do 8 stitches across. So when you're folding in half, you might just want to count first to make sure you know where you're going to be. So this will be 1 stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're going to take our band through here, where I've determined is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to pull a band through. And we're going to go back into the same spot we were, because that was just kind of attaching it. We're going to pull 1 band through, and then we're going to pull 1 band through everything on our hook. And that will be our first stitch. And then we're going to move to the second spot here, which is 2. We are going to pull 1 band through the cream colors, back on a hook, and then another one through all the way. And then we're going to go to the next, so this will be 3. 1 band through the cream, and then another band through all the way. Moving to the next. This is 4. 1 band through. 1 through everything. And here we are on 5. Go slow, make sure you've got what you need on your hook. 6. Oops. I want both of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is 7. 1 band through. 1 band through everything. And then our last one will be right here at the end, and this will be number 8. So we're going to pull 1 band through, and then 1 band through everything. Now that we're done with that row, we're going to chain 1. In our next one, we're going to turn our hook around. And for our next row, so we get that tapered shape, we're only going to do 6 instead of 8. So I'm going to skip this one at the end. I'm going to skip this one at the end. So I'm going to go to this next stitch. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So pulling 1 through everything. That's number 1. This is 2. Here's 3. Here's 4. 5. And then our last stitch will be number 6. 1 through, and then 1 through everything. We are going to chain 1 and turn for our last row. So for this row, we're going to do 4. So I'm going to skip both the ends and do in the middle. We'll do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, first band. This is the second. Getting stuck there. Last. And there we've finished, and we're tapered. And I'm just going to take this and make a slip knot and pull it. And then I'm going to hide this tail here in the back. And that's our tea bag. Now we need to make the little string. And I'm going to take 3 bands and we're going to tie them together. So you put one on top of the other, pull the bottom one up through the middle, and grab the top one and pull it. And we're going to do the same exact thing. So we have 3 together. And I'm going to use these as my string. So I'm going to go to the top of my design. I'm going to put my hook through. I'm going to pull my string through. And then I'm just going to pull it through and basically make a slip knot. Just like that. I liked the look of this one where it looks like it had a staple. So I took a gray band and I cut it. And then I'm just going to stick it through exactly how I did the mouth. And you can, when you're doing the mouth or any bands, you can use your hook or you can just spread it open and pull through. And I'm going to find the spot at the top. My mom is a huge tea drinker, so I think I might make her a set of my tea time things for Mother's Day since that's coming up. And then I'm just going to knot it right in the back, just like we did the mouth. Just like that. And then you can pull this little bit here and hide them down. Hide these little ends. And now we need to make the tag. The tag is pretty easy to make. We start off the same way we did before, where we are going to chain 5. So we're going to take 1, put it on our hook, wrap it around. That's 1. So here we pull 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we have a chain of 5. And we're going to be, our chain is always 1 more than the stitches we're going to have in that row. So we're going to be doing 4 stitches across. So I'm going to hold the chain on my hook, and I'm going to put my hook through the first from the hook. I'm going to pull 1 band through, back on, and then 1 band through both of those. That's our first stitch. Let's do our second is here. Pulling 1 band through, and then 1 through everything on the hook, and then 2 more. 1 band through, 1 band through everything on the hook. Our cap band is always the last on the first chain. So pulling 1 band through, 1 band through everything. And that's our chain, our foundation chain to start, and then 1 row. We're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do a second row. So we're going to turn our hook around so that we can go back in this other direction. Putting our hook in the first from the hook, pulling 1 band through, 1 through everything. That's stitch 1. Here's number 2. Oh, that's a broken one. Three. And our last stitch here is 4. And we're not going to chain 1. What I'm going to do is just make a slip knot. So it's a little square now, like the tag of our tea bag. I am going to hide the extra, the holding band there, and then I'm going to attach it here at the end. I'm going to put my, if you look where the rows are, there's kind of like one row in the middle here, and I'm going to put my hook through the top of here. I'm going to pull this through. I'm going to attach it like that in a slip knot. And that's the end of our tea bag. So there's our cute little tea bags. I really love this design. If you like this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up. Also, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. I've been getting lots of ideas, and I have a ton of other tutorials that I still need to film. So subscribe to my channel and you'll be the first ones to find out what those are. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great day and keep looming.